Hi, I'm Neil Bonnett, and welcome back to Winners. Ernie Irvan has won at Bristol. It's been real good to him. As you see leaving here, that little piece of junk, it's been bad to him, too.
Bristol is where Ernie Irvan showed he has some class. After the Darlington mess, Ernie fell way the bottom of most folks' Christmas list. But he turned that right back around at the next race in a face-to-face with Jeff Bodine's crew chief, Tim Brewer.
I'm parked right next to him at Bristol. I walk up, get in the back of their truck. Brewer, I got to talk to you. So what do you want? He's mad, you know. I said, man, what happened last week, it's my fault. I'm sorry about it. You know, I feel real bad about it. It won't happen again. And Brewer goes, man, that took a lot of guts to say that.
Those guys, you don't mind racing to people like that because they're there to race you. They're not there to wreck you. And, you know, I think everybody in racing really appreciates that more than they do anything else.
With crew chief Tony Glover on the radio, the Kodak team was developing their short track driver into a super speedway racer. They had 6 top 5 finishes, including second place at Michigan and Darlington. So now the media starts hounding Irvan about when he's going to win a race.
There's only so many questions you can think of. And that was one of the questions they kept asking us. Well, what's it going to take to win your first race? And my favorite answer was, if I knew that, I'd have done it already.
I could have told him it takes a good car, a good team, a good driver, and patience. Ernie had 3 out of the 4. Tony Glover was trying to teach the patience part. And it all came together on a hot summer night in Bristol with Rusty Wallace hot on his tail.
Sometimes in those situations, he does get a little over-aggressive, so I try to, you know, tell him, look, we've only ran 200 laps, you got 300 to go, you got plenty of time left, so, you know, just be calm. But I tell you, I'd a lot rather have a driver that you have to calm down than I would have a driver that you had to boost up, because you can always calm a driver like Ernie down, but if you had a more lackluster driver that didn't put forth a lot of effort, then you don't have a lot of room for improvement.
Tony Glover's on the radio. Man, don't slip up. Just be calm. Just race the race. Just don't worry about Rusty. Just race your race. And I gained a lot of respect for Rusty Wallace that day, because Rusty could have hit me, moved me, could have spun me, could have done anything, and didn't do it. And after the race, he was one of the first guys that, you know, come and said, man, congratulations. And he knew how I felt. And, there's no better feeling than winning your first Winston Cup race.
The next year back at Bristol, it was payback time. A 2-car shootout between Irvan and Rusty Wallace. Irvan gave Wallace a bumper-to-bumper massage he'll never forget, but he didn't spin him.
We ran hard, we ran side by side, and I didn't think he was going to catch me going into turn 3, but hey, I looked at my mirror and there he was, and I thought, oh, hell. And I just, I got a little sideways there in the middle of 3 and 4, and I just stood on the throttle.
To understand just how important Tony Glover is, all you have to do is look at Ernie when he's racing his Grand National car without Glover.
I went to Hickory, Tony wasn't with me. I had nobody on the radio telling me, man, take it easy, take it easy. We got a long ways to go, you know. We didn't have that sort of thing going on. So, man, that aggressive style came out and hit everything but the snack bar.
That aggressive style came out in the Bristol Grand National race, too. Irvan owns part of this Grand National car, so he's not wrecking somebody else's equipment now. As a car owner myself, I will tell you it's time Mr. Irvan, the owner, has one of those little chats with Swerving Irvan, the driver.
I had a lot of trouble with my driver. He seems to wreck a lot. The only reason I haven't fired him yet is because he does it for free. He drives for free, so. But if he ever wants to start getting paid, I don't think I'll have to fire him. Me as a car owner, I was thinking about firing him. But he talked to me and he decided, you know, that I had to give him another chance, you know. Then he won the Daytona 500, so I couldn't fire the Daytona 500 winner.
That's right, winner of the great American race, the Daytona 500. The kid from California who had to work welding seats at Charlotte had won the big one.
Everything everybody talked about down there was what it's going to take to beat Dale Earnhardt, you know. And I always figured to beat Dale Earnhardt, you're going to have to beat me. I might run second to him in the 125. But we'd gained a lot on the car, and I could pressure him pretty good. I had a lot of pressure on him the whole race.
Irvan rubbed Earnhardt's bumper so much that you might say he rubbed Dale the wrong way. Others will tell you he was just imitating his hero.
Ernie's aggressive, and, you know, he admittedly follows Earnhardt's path, you know, the way that Earnhardt drives.
Then came the restart that set up those fateful final laps of the big race itself.
I know in my mind that I can win this race because I'd already passed everybody on the racetrack, at least one. So we take off on the restart, and I was kind of asleep for some reason, but when I look at it now, that probably saved me. Then next thing I know, I look at my mirror, and Davy's on the outside of him, and I'm thinking, now this is good. If they could just stay on that side by side, they cannot catch me. And I'm pulling away a little at a time, and I'm looking in my mirror, and I'm watching who's drafting with Davy. One thing people don't know, that there was going to be a caution at Daytona, whether Dale spun or not. I look in my mirror, there's a major pileup happening. So the first thing I'm thinking is, got to stand on the gas and just make it back to the start-finish line, because there's going to be a caution, and I think the race is going to end under caution. So I drive into turn 3, right where Dale run over that bell housing last year. There is a whole piece of a rear bumper laying in the middle of the racetrack. You know, we made it, and it was just like I said, it's another thing added to winning the Daytona 500 we can always talk about, and I can always tell my kids about.
Some people say Irvan's Daytona 500 victory was tarnished because of the wreck and the way the race ended on the caution. But now you know the whole story. He was leading, and he would have stayed in the lead and won the race, even if the race had ended under green flag conditions. Since I do this TV work now, how about you guys doing your part and watching? I'll see you next week. I'm Neil Bonnett.
Winners has been brought to you by Fram Filter Products. Fram, you can pay a little now or a lot later. And Autolite Spark Plugs and wire and cable products. Autolite Spark Plugs, guaranteed for 2 years no matter how far you go.